It was no wonder he could command a stage solo, just him and his guitar, and his signature raspy voice. At his feet, a paunchy black lab stretched out its paws. Smokey. He was 7 years old, a rescue dog, a real, living dog, even at a time when so many other pet owners had turned to android dogs instead. It was another one of the endearing things about Thorne. All his die-hard followers knew these basic facts. What surprised her was the vaguely familiar woman at his side. She was resting her hand on his knee. Even from Quinn's distance, the woman's high cheekbones and elegant neck stood out. Her chin-length blonde hair was cut at an angle, longer in the front than the back, and she was wearing a blazer with leather pants, probably a size 2, and white sneakers. Quinn was wearing yoga pants and a loose red top with ample room for her growing belly. Next to Thorne's companion, she felt like an overripe tomato. Thorne had never posted anything about his personal life. How naive of her to assume he would be single. Of course his fans didn't know the real him, although he was very good at making it seem like they did. The intimacy was manufactured for mass consumption, yet felt authentic, especially to her. The tenant in her womb unleashed a ninja kick. She regretted that she was about to blow up his life. For half an hour, she had been sitting there, putting it off, just watching the two of them in their bubble, sipping coffee, holding hands. Their before period. Because nothing after would ever be the same. Thorne was regaling the woman with some funny story, using lots of animated gestures. Every so often, her gaze tore away from him and swept defensively around the patio, as though erecting a force field around them. Her alertness was jarring in this gentle atmosphere, where carefree chatter and clanking utensils blended with the ocean crashing right across the street. If anyone recognized Thorne, they didn't care to bother him. The waiter approached and handed Thorne the check. Smokey pushed up to stand. It was time. Quinn rubbed her belly. Heat flooded her face as though she herself were on stage, with the whole restaurant riveted to the scene she was about to cause. But no one paid her any attention as she lumbered toward their table. Halfway there, she stopped. The woman was putting on yellow latex gloves and unpacking a small suitcase filled with what appeared to be scientific tools. A biohazard bag labeled with a skull, glass tubes with red caps, pipettes, cotton swabs, a magnifying glass. A few customers nearby took notice. Their chatter ceased. But Thorne didn't seem bothered. He patted the dog's head as the woman collected his plate, fork, and coffee mug. She unscrewed one of the tubes, plunged a pipette into it, and sucked up a clear liquid, dripped it onto a cotton swab. Then she rubbed the swab all over his mug's edge, wherever his lips had touched. She repeated the same steps for his plate and fork. Their waiter, who had arrived to clear the table, stepped aside like he knew the drill. She disposed of Thorne's used napkin in the biohazard bag and crouched so that her gaze was level with the table. She inspected the surface around Thorne with her magnifying glass. Quinn edged closer until she was only a few feet away. "Got one," the woman muttered. She used a wet cotton ball to pick up an eyelash. This, too, she put in the biohazard bag. Then she sealed it up, packed it in the suitcase along with the other instruments, and zipped it up. She gave the table a final once-over as she removed her gloves. "Good to go," she told the waiter. Quinn blinked hard once to bring her smart lenses online. "Celebrity cells," she whispered to the search engine, recalling a fragment of a headline she'd scanned a while back. The full headline materialized 6 inches away in floating blue letters at her eye level.